Hello, everyone. It's Helen Eimers. I am a nurse turned life coach, and I am so excited to be offering you this masterclass today. 3 ways to reject the thought, I am not capable. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this class today, and also 3 ways that you can reject this thought so that you can step forward into the most amazing parts of your life. Now, just give me a second. I want to make sure I can see all of the comments. If you're leaving any, if you're watching this after the fact, please feel free to leave a comment and I will follow up on that. Hello, everyone. It's Helen Eimers, coach, and I'm so excited. I'm not able to tag everyone. Give me a second. Awesome. If you're watching, just let me know. And I would love to connect with you either during this call, if you are joining, or if you're watching the replay afterward. Very good. So if you are watching, and give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. I'd love to hear from you. And we're going to get started. So I'm so excited to share with you these concepts. The reason why I chose this masterclass is because last week and recently I have allowed the words to slip out of my mouth that say, I'm not capable. Now, these words can be sneaky. These thoughts can be sneaky. It can look like things more than just, I'm not capable, right? Rarely do we ever say, like, I'm not capable. But what happens is they're sneaky, right? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough resources. That isn't available to me. I've tried everything, and it can be very, very sneaky. And so what happens is we find these spaces within ourselves where we don't fully believe that we're capable of doing something that will really push us forward into this life. And I'm going to teach you today how to reject that, because it's so important as you walk forward, as you learn to let go of some of that fear and that doubt and that worry that is deep within you. And it's something I'm always doing, right? Someone said to me the other day, you know, you're probably past that point. You're not here anymore. You're not even dealing with this. And I'm like, it will always be here, but now I have the ways and the tools to manage it, right? Like, I'm always on this journey. I'm always learning. Things and emotions and thoughts always come up for me that are hard, that are painful, that are fearful, that are really, really challenging. And it's hard. It can be really, really scary. And so, what I want to encourage you today is to find these ways to work through it, to find these ways to reject the thought that I am not capable, so that you can fully accept the thought I am capable. And it can be really powerful. It allows you to step forward into the most amazing ways. So, number one, the first thing is find evidence against your thought, right? So, when we have the thought, I am not capable, it feels yucky, right? Like, I feel a lot of fear, I feel a lot of doubt, I feel a lot of worry. And you could find evidence all day to support the thought, I'm not capable, right? They said no. She said this. I didn't get that done and I said I was going to. This didn't go my way. This isn't possible. I've tried everything, right? Like, these are the thoughts that support, and the truths. We could find truths, right? That something did or didn't happen. These are the things that can support that. We can find evidence all day to support it. We can also find evidence all day to deny it. And that is the most important piece. That is the most important piece, is finding the evidence to deny this thought that I'm not capable, or finding evidence to support the thought I am capable. So you can find evidence to support any thought. You can find evidence to support any belief. And if you continue to allow yourself to find evidence to support the negative beliefs, they will continue to be there. Okay? It really depends on where your focus wants to be. I'm just seeing some comments come in, and I love that. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. I'm going to tag everyone. What I was trying to do, it wasn't working earlier. Perfect. Okay, so if you have a question, please let me know in the chat. I can see your comments now. And we can find evidence all day long to support or deny our thoughts. Okay, so when you're thinking, I am not capable, I'm going to say bullshit. And I'm going to say, what are you capable of? What are you doing today? What did you do yesterday? What did you do last year? What things are you capable of? So I want you to think about that. If you have any ideas or you're, thinking of things in your brain, put them in the chat. Let me know. I want to hear from you. But what ways can you find evidence to support the thought that I am capable? We could support the thought that I am not capable all day long, right? Shame, guilt, worry, doubt, fear, right? Like I didn't do it. I should have done that. This didn't happen. Just like I said before, she said no. I didn't deliver. Okay. So find evidence against the negative thought and find evidence for the thought that you want to hold on to, the thought that is important to you. Okay. So that's number one concept. A way to reject a thought is to find evidence against it. It's super powerful and it's super fun to do because in doing that, we can kind of set that thought free. Now, I never want anyone to feel like, including myself, right? Like what I used to do is I used to like avoid it, right? I used to buffer, like, oh, that isn't there. No, like call it out. Be like, whoa, I just said that. Like I told you guys, like I said this and I was like, okay, self-awareness. That's step number one. And so I'm so grateful for that self-awareness that I caught myself, that I heard myself say that, and that I owned it. Like, whew, I'm feeling like I'm not capable right now. What's going on? I'm going to invite it in. I'm going to find evidence for it. I'm going to also find evidence against it and see which one makes me feel my best. Okay, number two, identify what the real truth is. Our brains like to be dramatic. I love to be dramatic. I love to exaggerate the story. I love to exaggerate how bad or great things are. And what that does is it comes into our thoughts. And it can be very challenging to then disseminate the truth from the non-truth, right? And what we can do, a simple way to test your thoughts is one simple question. Is that true? Right? If you were to come to me or I would come to you, just imagine I walk up to you and I say, I am not capable. What would you say to me? I know what I would say to you. I would say, yeah, you are. You came into this building. You opened your mouth to talk to me. You are working on yourself. You have taken the steps to do X, Y, Z, right? Like I would want to deny that for you because it's not true. But in our brain, because it's our thought, it's true for us. It's so true because we create our thoughts. And so they're very true for us. So it's very important to test them in finding out what the truth is. Okay, so we often immediately jump to, right? Like if I say to myself in my mind, like I am not capable, and then I turn around and test it and I say, is that true? Often my initial response is like, yeah, of course, right? I created this thought. Of course it's not true. But when we step back and look at the objectivity, right? Look at like the facts, right? Like, but what did you do, Helen? But what are you capable of, right? It's kind of like that finding evidence again. We go back to our first concept and you find evidence. And if you still are telling yourself like, it's totally true, I'm not capable, then you ask yourself again in a different way. Can I absolutely know that it's true? And most of the time this will be no. But if your belief is so strong in this, we work to turn it around. We work to change our language. We work to change what that story is. Because a lot of times what happens when we're telling ourselves thoughts or beliefs or, telling ourselves thoughts which turn into beliefs is that it's often kind of the opposite. Right? Like we're believing so strongly in something, or like, for example, this is how you can turn something around. If you are so frustrated in someone because they do not communicate And you're like, and I'm like, hey, is that true? And you're like, yes, they're terrible communicators. I'm like, but is it really true? You're like, yes, absolutely. And then I'm like, how do you turn that around? Oh, I'm not being a good communicator either. So it helps us open our eyes into a different perspective of maybe there's something we can change. Maybe there's something that I'm truly fully doing that's holding me back from actually being capable. And what is that? We want to figure it out. We want to call it out. We want to invite it in. Because in doing that, we can turn it around. And that's where the work is. That's where it's powerful. That's where it's super fun to find, even though it can be painful, even though it can be hurtful, even though it doesn't feel good, right? Like nobody wants to be called out. I don't like to be called out, but it helps me heal. It helps me grow. It helps it when I call out my negative emotions. That helps me so much because then I can learn and grow from that versus continuing to hide or buffer or numb or, push it away like it isn't there. That's bullshit. It's totally there. This thought was totally there for me this week, and I want to discover why. And that's exactly what I do to help turn it around. Okay. And then number 3, I want you to imagine a life where you set this thought aside. Right? Like imagine what your life would be like if you no longer had the thought available to you that you are not capable, that I am not capable. And again, we can switch it around to say, like, what if I fully believed that I am capable? What would that look like? What would that feel like? And feeling in my vision, in my mind, is so important because we can't always, or we don't always know exactly what our thought is unless we've done the work a lot, and we can pull that apart because a lot of times our thought is dramatic or our thought isn't actually true. It's just our assumption or our bias of something. But when we can feel emotion and we know that it doesn't feel good or it does feel freaking amazing, then we can work with that. And that is so cool. That is the work that really helps us to develop into the women that we desire to be, the women who have a full zest for life, who can work to raise their emotional state at any time, even in the worst of circumstances. And again, that's not to hide it. That's not to say it didn't happen. That's not to say life isn't hard. That's not to say sucky things are going to come into your path. But we can also find gratitude in those most challenging moments. And it's amazing. Another question, as far as imagining a life where you embrace the thought that is useful to you, is, how committed are you to being in that place and putting it into practice? If you're like, oh, that'd be nice, but that's not me, or that's not what happens in my life, you're not ready. Maybe you know you need it, but you don't want it badly enough. It's not there for you yet. I know it's there for you. I know it's waiting right there for you. I know that the thought of I am capable is right there for me too. And that gives me hope and faith and trust and love. And it's amazing when you can have those pieces in your life. And then the last reflection I want to share with you is when you imagine your life where you set the thought aside that you're not capable and you fully embrace or you imagine what it would be like if you were capable to achieve XYZ, what does that woman believe? Now, I did a reflection just yesterday. My coach encouraged me to do this because I was having a belief over the last week that I wasn't capable. And I worked to implement these things. And then I got a little assignment. And she said, what would you have to believe about yourself if you achieved this? Right? Like if you knew that you were capable, if you knew that that anything was possible. And I'm going to read this to you. I want you to do your own, but I want to read you mine because I think it's powerful. And it's amazing what you would believe about that future woman that you know everything is capable for. Here's what I wrote. I would believe that I'm a freaking badass. And I want you to maybe close your eyes, take these words in, like I'm speaking to you, like these are yours, borrow them. I would believe that I'm a freaking badass. A woman who, even though it was hard, never gave up. Someone who didn't make a contingency plan because she knew her mission was inevitable. A woman who allowed her passion to help her live the life of her dreams and teach and walk alongside others who desired to do the same. A woman that listened to her own crazy ass voice and ideas and continued to run with it until it worked. A woman who cares so deeply about herself that she surrounded herself with the most amazing teachers, coaches, mentors as a way to see a new perspective that would help her and ultimately those who she provided value to. She is a badass, and this is just the beginning. Right? So as a coach, I do the work too. I have to do the work, or else I would continue to believe that I'm not capable, which I have found evidence against. I have proven to be not true, and I've imagined that life when I can set aside that negative thought or that thought that produces negative emotion and accept or hold on to a thought that makes me feel amazing. So, as a recap, 3 ways to reject the thought, I am not capable, is find evidence against it. Find ways in which you are capable. I posted that someone posted something the other day, how life was just terrible and why does this always happen to me? And I was bold and I commented on her post and I said, I'm so sorry this is happening to you, but what is good that's happening in your life? She didn't respond. That's okay. But maybe she thought about it and maybe she was able to find some gratitude in this shitty space in her life or what she feels is a really terrible spot. And it is. Life is hard. We have hard things happen. It's important to notice them. It's important to recognize them. And it's important to own them so that you can understand them. So you can understand yourself better. So you can set yourself free and step forward in the most amazing ways. So you find evidence against it. You identify what the truth is versus allowing your dramatic brain that wants to tell you it doesn't have enough time or resources or energy to do what you desire to do. And then you also want to imagine a life where you set this thought aside. And it's amazing. So I want you guys to step forward from this. I want you to notice a thought that you have been thinking or holding on to that is holding you back, that is a twist or a rendition of the thought, I am not capable, right? Again, it's like, I don't have time. That's not available to me. I could never make that work. I've tried everything. Why does this always happen to me, right? Like those are all sneaky ways of like, I'm not capable. This isn't possible. And I want you to find evidence against it. You can spend all day finding evidence for it. That's what you've been doing. You're really good at that. Good job. I'm really good at it too. We're going to get uncomfortable and we're going to find evidence against it. We're going to find evidence that supports otherwise. Number 2, you want to identify what the truth is. Like try to step back, take the drama out, and find, that neutral space or voice within your brain that says, slow down. You're being a little bit dramatic. And then you work through that. Okay. And then next, I want you to imagine a life where if you set that thought aside, what would you believe? It's amazing. I read you mine. I hope that connected with you. I hope that you felt that in every single way. And I want this for you. I really want you to feel this space, to be able to take any thought and turn it around in this way, to prove it wrong, to identify what the truth is, and then to believe in your wildest dreams. And this work doesn't end today. This work doesn't end because I taught you this. This work doesn't end for me ever. I'm always working on it. But I know how to do it now instead of just believing. And there's nothing I can do. And I feel like my hands tied and I'm a victim. Because I really like to sit in my own pity parties. That's easy for me. This this is not as easy. And so I commend you for being here. I commend you for watching this. I commend you for taking action. We're really good at the easy part. We're really good at the sitting back and just letting be. We need to get better at finding evidence against it, identifying what that truth is, and then imagining a life where you set that thought aside. And you can break through into the most amazing spaces to walk forward in that confidence and that peace and that gratitude, no matter what you're experiencing. And it's amazing. And it's a way to have a full zest for life versus just trying to get through your days, versus just accepting these things as fact, because they are not. There's so many thoughts that we have that we think are true that are bullshit, right? And they hide from us, these sneaky thoughts. They're so sneaky, but it's easy. It's our habit. It's our unintentional thoughts. So I hope this was helpful for you. I would love for you to tag anyone or share this with anyone who you also think it would support. And if you are interested in diving deeper into this work, because it's amazing. It's amazing when we can commit to doing the work that will change our lives, that will get us the result of letting go of this fear, of working through it, right? It's not that it's not there, but we got to work through it. And we got to find evidence against it. We got to prove it wrong. It's not right. Some people may think it's right. Some people may tell you that. Maybe that's why you're where you're at, because someone told you at some time in your life that you are not capable. I've had that happen before. I've had people tell me terrible things and I've believed them. And I wasn't myself for weeks and months and years, and I held back and I was worried about what I said or what I did or who I'd offend. And it was exhausting. And I choose not to live like that anymore. And I choose to help women get out of that place where I was. And it's so great. I love what I do. I love all of you. Please do this work if you feel called to do it. And also invite anyone who else who would like to. If you're like, I'm ready to do this work fully and committed so that I can let go of these thoughts that are holding me back, that are keeping me stuck, that are allowing me to walk through life with fear, and you want to work through those specific thoughts, just message me and we'll do that together. Because I know you're capable. I know that I'm capable. And when you get people who are very capable together, amazing magic happens. So I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you're watching it live or you're watching the replay, please enter any comments that you have as you're going through this, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.